Welcome to Those Guys Sports. This is your boy Mike, and this is The Crib, where we talk about basketball. You've seen our latest videos about the Raptors. This is a little bit different. It's about NBA, of course. But of course, I have to introduce you to the people on the side. Who am I with today? The same old guys. We're pretty much wearing the same thing, of course. Here's Scully. Oh God. X. Malcolm. And Los. Today's topic is about the NBA, like I said, and why it's ruined. Well, but I don't think it's ruined. Someone here thinks the NBA is ruined, and quite frankly, we shouldn't be watching the NBA. As that guy, hey, it's Malcolm. So
I never said you shouldn't watch it. I'm just saying I think I'm done watching it.
Woo!
Why?
These playoffs, or in general?
In general, I don't even watch regular season.
Why?
Ooh, why?
Okay, let me start. Let me tell you the story.
Preach.
Back in the day, probably like a little over 10 years ago, during the 2000s,
Yeah.
I used to watch every game. It didn't matter who was playing. There was a time when the Clippers were shit and they were playing someone like, maybe Milwaukee. They were shit. There's no stars. There's no appeal to the game on a Wednesday night.
Setting the mood.
I'm watching the game. You know why? Because the games were actually competitive. There wasn't so many outside components in the NBA like messing with the game.
I was gonna say it was your day off.
That too. But I'm watching the game. The game's competitive. There's no stars. That's cool. I just love basketball. I played basketball a lot back then. I watched it all the time. I'm sure you know. So it's like, and then I remember I was talking to my dad, because he's a big NBA guy too back in the day. And I asked him, why don't you watch NBA anymore? He's just like it's not the same. He's like, the game changed too much. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, in 10 years you'll know what I'm talking about. It's been 10 years. And I know what he's talking about.
Wow. That's kind of deep.
Like, bro, Mike, man, like, I can't anymore. Like,
I don't think the game is ruined. I think people are talking too much of the way, oh man, Cleveland being so dominant. So it's
okay, let me get to that.
That was like
let me get to that.
in the 90s too.
Okay, let me get to that. Then I'll tell you why that's not the same. Let me get to that. So right now, anyone that knows First Take, you see Stephen Smith, he says the NBA is ruined. I heard that. I said the exact same thing. I've been saying the exact same thing. It's ruined. Mm-hmm. Like, when you have two teams, like I can't even talk right now.
I'll give you why it's not ruined though.
It's okay. Why?
Because we can sit here and we can talk about it's so dominant, but that's what we want to talk about.
No,
we're gonna remember this.
No.
We're gonna remember this.
No, not
Dominance is remembered. Remember that. Dominance is remembered and spoken about.
Yo, listen, the NBA.
You're gonna remember teams that were going at each other for like 5 years, reaching the finals 5 years.
I think it's pretty cool.
I think that's.
I think if those
you're
two
gonna
beat each
remember
other,
that, and people are gonna talk about it. You're not gonna remember a finals.
I think that's kind of
Washington.
I think it's extremely cool that Golden State won the first one, the Cavs won the second one, and now we have the rubber match. I think that is so cool. I think you don't see that in sports, and I think we're seeing history
at this high level.
Listen,
at the highest level.
I can't
listen. The NBA is a product. It's a business. It's a product. Mm-hmm. You ruined and watered down the product by letting Kevin Durant, that caliber player, go into a team of that status.
It was rigged from before though, from 4 years.
Look, people don't realize it's like, okay, Golden State's amazing now. They're amazing before, they're amazing now. You gotta realize that a player of that magnitude from a team like OKC that was a contender is gone now. So now they're a mediocre team, and Golden State's even they're more of a monster. So it's like, who can touch them? So that's a foregone conclusion. In the East, you got LeBron James, who's been dominating the East for 10 years?
Technically 6.
The thing is though, I blame the rest of the players in the East. I don't blame LeBron.
Step your game up. At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, this is what it is. You guys see what LeBron's doing. You know what I mean? You guys see he's making his own plays, he's getting players, whatever. You guys have, stars seem like they have say with GMs and whatnot. You can have your pitch. LeBron's certainly getting his way. GMs want to win. You know what I mean? They want more attendance. They want, you know what I mean?
See, that's the thing. That's another thing that's from the NBA. Guys are getting paid too much.
I agree with
They're
that.
getting paid way too much. They have no incentive to train and play hard. Once they get their contract, once they're playing, if it has to be a contract, people talk about, oh, it's his contract year, so he's gonna ball out. Why? Like these guys. See, the thing is, these guys don't love the game. They don't love the game. They're just the right size, or the right height. They played ball all their life, and they're good at it. Yeah. So they do it, and they get paid for it.
It's not the love.
They don't love the game, so it's like it ruins the project. Like, I can't. Like, I see it all the time when I watch these games. I watch all these NBA regular season games. I'm like watching them, and I'm like, why am I watching this? They're not going to make the playoffs. They're not gonna beat Golden State. They're not gonna beat the Cavaliers. So why am I watching this? Why am I watching? This Boston-Washington series is probably the best series in the playoffs.
Yes.
Other than the finals. It's going to be the best series. You know how many games of that I've watched? None. I saw the ending of this last game, buzzer beater by John Wall, which was pretty cool. But then I'm like, after the moment's done, okay, they might.
And that floater by Bradley Beal on Olynyk before that.
It was a shot. That shot.
Well, that shot,
that jump shot.
Push, yeah.
Yeah, like it's cool to watch the game in the moment, but then you realize it sets in that they're gonna play gold, they're gonna play Cavaliers in the next round, and they're gonna lose 4-1. Like,
Los, is the game ruined?
You guys should know me. I'm kind of a conspiracy theorist type nigga though stuff. So I can't say that I completely disagree with what's Phil to the right of me. I may not be as angered or as in depth thus far, may not have done as much research or came to a final conclusion as of yet, but I can't say I completely disagree with him. I do believe the game is ruined to a certain extent.
I don't think it's ruined. I think it's the same thing. I think it's just a new era. I think we're just experiencing.
Nah, man. Okay, let me bring that up. Okay, you say it's always the same. No one's gonna beat the Bulls. They're always gonna make the finals.
Like, no one beat LA.
You know how much they were all competitive. Yeah, Chicago was the favorites. Yes, they were the favorites. The Showtime Lakers were the favorites. The Boston Celtics, they were the favorites. The Detroit Pistons were the favorites. But it was competitive. You didn't know for sure. It wasn't etched in stone.
To me, you didn't know for sure.
Those games were going, all those series, man, they were going to game 6s, man.
You didn't know for sure, but any team that won in the 90s duplicated it. Like they won the next year. In the 20s, that
but you didn't know that. You thought, okay, you're like Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, you're like, okay, they should win. But do you know?
I don't know. If Jordan won the first 3 and then won the next year he came back, I'm thinking he's winning the next one. Like the chances are higher. So when you think about it, it goes 89 or 90. Detroit won those 2 years, right? Then it goes Chicago.
What about Houston?
Then it goes Chicago. Then it goes Houston. Then it goes Chicago. And then it goes San Antonio. So it's just
just because that was like 99.
A short year. Yeah. So it goes San Antonio, and then it goes like LA, San Antonio.
Like think about during the 2000s. During the 2000s, think of all of those finals matchups. How many of them were rematches? How many of them were the same teams every other year or every year?
2000s, early.
The only ones I remember.
Lakers.
Okay, the Lakers, the 3P of the Lakers. Yeah. San Antonio every other year or so. Yeah. But other than that, it was different. Miami, Cleveland, Detroit, Mavericks. Like it was different, man.
But you can't say that in
Miami for 4 years.
Remember? In the 90s, it was the Bulls face the Supersonics, the Suns, like the way LeBron is facing different teams in the Eastern Conference Finals, Jordan was facing different teams in the Western Conference Finals.
Those teams were competitive teams. Those teams were championship contender teams.
They're still competitive
in those days, definitely. Like the Phoenix Suns.
But they're still competitive now.
Yo, I remember
like LeBron's going to the finals and he's sweeping. It's not sweeping. He's still going to
It's not like he's going to the finals and sweeping.
That's not the
Yeah,
point.
not sweeping. Of course. No, not like in the finals.
Oh,
No,
sweeping
but on the
finals.
way there,
Oh,
he
like-
shouldn't be sweeping. He shouldn't be walking to the finals, man.
It
No
shouldn't
one
be
wants to
this
see
easy.
that.
I agree with you.
No one wants to see that, man.
It shouldn't be this easy. I agree. Like the only thing I think that's ruining the NBA is the how old these kids are coming in to the league.
No, let me get to that.
That's rude.
Let me get to that because I have a lot of stuff on the NBA white stream. Yo, let me tell you something. I see how I say it. The Toronto Raptors, I'm not invested. Like I'm not fully invested.
Okay.
The NBA is a league. Watching it, I was invested. As a kid, I used to watch it, man, all the time. Me and my cousins, man, we used to always watch it all the time. And now seeing how it is now, it's like it's a joke, man. All-Star game, it's a joke thing.
Yeah, but like
It's not
as you get older,
Like-
you just realize shit.
Nah,
That's what
man.
it is too.
I think that
It's like wrestling. Wrestling's a joke.
You know what I mean?
the age.
Wrestling's a joke for me.
Like, sure, it was fun because we got to see all our favorite stars on. Because I see the kids at school and they're so happy to see. But in my head, I'm like, they're just practicing. But the kids like, oh, do you see what Westbrook did? You see what Durant did? Like,
The age,
It's a different
to me, it hurts it. Because I said it, and like one day I'm gonna write a book about this or something. No number one's pick says LeBron James and Tim Duncan has led his team to the NBA Finals in the past 20 years. None has led them to the NBA Finals and won. No number one pick. That's not happened.
Another
It's always been led by someone who's not. You're trying. Keep this.
There's no one.
There's no one.
no one else.
There's no number one pick in the past 10 years.
Oh, Shaq.
Past 10 years.
you said 20.
So
at first.
20 years.
But
Shaq,
Shaq was 25.
and
92.
Shaq was 92.
So, yeah.
20 years.
Yeah.
Shaq led the
Yeah.
Lakers to 3 titles.
No.
That was 20 years. Like,
20 is
the past
97.
number one pick.
So that's like
since
Kobe's
Tim Duncan,
draft.
20 years is 1997.
Yeah.
so since Tim Duncan,
Exactly, Shaq was
drafted
92.
in 92. So since
Oh,
so since
the
Duncan,
finals.
so since Duncan
drafted in the last 20 years
Yes.
or within the
No.
Drafted
Drafted.
years at number 1.
And number one. So since Tim Duncan, LeBron, we can say Bogut won. We can say that Irving
He
won.
didn't lead that.
Exactly, they didn't lead it. Not talking about leading it. Duncan and LeBron. That's it. Like Duncan and LeBron.
Okay,
that's it.
okay, so that's
And look at number 2 pick. Look at number 2 pick is like none.
two pick is one of the biggest busts in the lottery.
Then none of them have done it, right? 3.
Darko Milicic.
It's like the last 3, Dwayne Wade. Then we have to keep going down, like
Oh,
down,
Melo
like,
was
down.
3rd pick?
Oh, sorry, Dwayne was 4th or 5th. You know what I'm saying? Like these young players are not leading to championships. So these teams are tanking for one reason.
Exactly, because if you look at the statistics, how much top 5 picks are a part of championship teams, are the main scorer, MVP, whatever. Top 5 picks. That's when people say trade for picks. So why? Picks are not getting you anywhere, especially with how the NBA is ruining in a sense because of this whole thing with college. Because see how these kids come in from college.
John
Okay,
Wall has never made it to an Eastern Conference Final.
So let's go. Okay, let's go to that. So yeah, the competition is garbage right now. There's no competition in the NBA. There's 2-3 teams that are contenders, and it's like. So there's that. Another thing that I don't like is the type of players and the quality of players. So there's the type and there's the quality. When I say type, I mean I don't like how every player now is like an all-around player. I don't like how big men are all of a sudden they dribble like guards and they shoot like guards. I don't like that. I like the traditional. I like the traditional back to the basket centers.
I do love that.
I do like the defensive power forwards. I like the shooting guard that actually shoot the traditional shooting guard that runs around screens and shoots threes and shoots open jump shots, not off the dribble shooting like. Well, there's Kobe and Jordan, but like, I don't like that. I don't like the whole shooting guard, point guard thing with James Harden and Russell
I have to
Westbrook.
interrupt you and say, with everything, even in sports, it's evolution.
Yeah.
I get that, but I just don't like it. Like man's like the Greek Freak and Anthony Davis that do so much things. Like it's fun to watch and it's good
nice
talent.
to see, but
it's great talent.
It's not
but
winning you a title though.
like because back in the day, everyone had
not winning a title.
like everyone had a role. Everyone had their role. They stuck to it. Their role was a big integral part of the team, and
I
they won.
agree. I agree with you.
I like seeing that. But now it's like if one guy doesn't play good, then the game's a bust. The game's done. Like James Harden last night.
Mm-hmm.
Like the game is done.
No,
Russell Westbrook, he's everything. LeBron James, he's everything. Like I don't like that. I like seeing a star, 2 stars, 3, 4, 5 pretty good players, and then you got your role players. You know, that's what I like seeing. That was every team, man.
But I still think every team in the league now has a star player.
They do. They do.
I think every team has a star.
What's
player.
the star player? A star caliber player or your best player?
I think every team has a star. I'm thinking of a team that
Both.
doesn't have a star.
Both.
LA doesn't have a star.
Denver?
Sacramento doesn't have a
Denver.
star. They have a star. That Jokic is going to be something.
Thank you. He's not going to be something right now.
Yeah, he's a star.
Joker.
The Joker.
Yeah,
It ain't no joke.
He's a star.
He ain't no
He will
joke.
be a star.
His
If he's not a
passing
star,
ability is great.
Murray will be a star.
His passing.
Murray's a
Those two guys
clapper.
are
And
gonna be a star.
Moutier is no slouch either.
Yes, those guys are stars.
Moutier is no
Those
slouch
are
either.
stars.
And Wilson Chandler, he ain't no chump either.
I would love to have Wilson Chandler in the Raptors.
And if Gallinari stays healthy in his condition, he ain't no
Gallinari's a
slouch
free
either.
agent. Raptors should think about
So
it.
yeah, like it's not that big of a deal. I'm sure most people like seeing it, but I don't know. I guess like it makes me kind of 2000 old school, I guess.
Yeah.
But whatever. But and then there's the quality of players. Like these kids coming out of the draft, like
They're not that good.
they're garbage.
Yeah, they're not that good.
They're garbage. Every top 5. I remember in 2000. Not every top 5 pick, but most of those top 5 picks. If you had a top 5 pick, you had a player.
Yeah.
Like he was at least good. He may not have been a star or a superstar, but he was good.
Back in the day.
Play a role.
Now you got guys like I always point to this: Brandon Ingram, 2nd overall pick; DeAndre Russell, 2nd overall pick. Hot garbage on a Lakers team that has all the leeway to do whatever you need to do to flourish.
They're not hot garbage. I can't say
No,
that.
man, they're
I think-
garbage.
I think
for
Russell's
number 2
garbage.
pick,
I
they're
think
garbage.
No, I see what you mean though. 'cause
The thing is,
they're supposed to
Kobe
be nasty.
stifled the talent for the year Ingram was there as his rookie year.
No, Ingram wasn't there.
Russell.
I
Kobe
mean
wasn't
Russell, because his name was rookie year. My bad, Russell. So that's why you have to give Russell like this is his rookie year.
That's kind of been like I just don't care to watch the league anymore. I don't watch the regular season. I watch some of the playoffs, but then I realize like they're not winning. So why am I watching this? Like
I see what you're saying. But that's why the league is ruined in the eyes of Malcolm.
that's why the league's ruined. Period. I'm not the only one that thinks this.
I would say that we all can see where he's coming from. But that's it for Those Guys Sports for this episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow Scully, X, Los. It's your boy Mike. I'm gonna talk to you soon.